Hello drone racers, I'm Mark, and today on Drone Racer 101 I'm going to try and answer a question that I get a lot. Which radio should I buy? Now in this case I'm focusing just on the FrSky Taranis line. I'm doing that because I have total FrSky bias. I love the FrSky radios. I've owned a lot of radios in the past. I started with a 4-channel Tower Hobbies radio. I've had Futaba radios. I used a Futaba 9C for a long time. I've had Spectrum radios. I had a DX8. I've had a DX6i. I've had a DX5. I actually still have several of them. But then once I got the Taranis X9D Plus radio, I've never looked back. It just does everything I could need for a fraction of the price of those other radios, and I imagine it's going to do everything that I ever will need. It was really by far the best value at the time, but now we have a lot more options. So you'll see I have 4 Taranis radios we're going to talk about here. What we're not going to talk about are these two. I actually don't have a Horus radio, and I haven't even requested one for review, so I'm going to tell you why I don't care about the Horus, really. Yeah, they're beautiful, but $500 for an X12S? No, that's not what I need, so that's out. The X10 is okay, but I would really want an S, so we're talking about $450 there, and the real deal breaker for this for me is the battery. There's no removable battery, and with this nice color screen, the battery doesn't last hardly any time at all, so I'm really just not interested. That leaves us with these. There's actually also the Taranis X9E that was weird, and I don't care about that either. So as far as I'm concerned, here are your 4 choices, plus one bonus at the end. So I'm gonna be pretty quick because I've actually reviewed every one of these radios already separately. So for a full in-depth review, there's links down in the description. There's links up in the corner to follow along with each one of these. So we have at the start, right at $100, the QX7, and this is now the radio that a lot of people are starting with. This is what I would have started with if this didn't exist at the time. I'm a cheapskate. This was $100. I like it a lot. The problems I have with it are the switches, where my switch is broken, but don't pay any attention to that. I had to switch them, no big deal there. The gimbals are okay. The battery, I put in a lithium iron battery, which is okay, but I don't use this a lot. Really, the case that it comes with and rechargeable batteries would probably be the best option for this, but it's a good radio for $100. If you have a $100 budget, if you have a $75 budget, if you have a $60 budget, I would save up and get this. That is the radio to have. But because this was so popular, they came out with this. This is basically the same thing. It's an X7S. It comes with rechargeable batteries. It comes with the case. I showed the case for the ones that come with cases. These may or may not come with cases, but probably not. The big thing that this gives you are Hall effect gimbals, which are really, really nice. The switches are nicer, but they're still in the wrong spot. I still had to switch those around. And it has a wireless trainer port, which I've never gotten a chance to try because I only have one of these. If one of you guys is local and you have one of these, you want to let me try it so I can demo that and make a video, let me know. This though is about $220, so it's a lot more. So then in the X9D line, this is the X9D Plus. I don't think they make the non-plus. I don't think you've been able to get that for a long, long time. So X9D Plus is about $220, about the same price as the X7S. But it doesn't come with Hall effect gimbals. It doesn't come with a case. It does give you more switches, which you honestly probably don't need. What it does give you is a charging port and a battery built in that works really, really well. The other thing that doesn't get highlighted a lot though, that is a big upgrade for me though, it does have a much better screen. Now honestly, this dial right here is a lot better than these buttons. I'll take this dial. I wish they would just replace that with the dial. It's way better. But the screen is a lot bigger and has a lot more information. The biggest thing is when I have telemetry set up, I can see a lot more information on here. I can see the RSSI value. I can see the battery voltage through telemetry on this, and I can't on this, not on the main screen at least. So that's kind of a big deal. It's not huge, but it is really nice for this. And these two have the same screen, so there was no difference there. And then last, but certainly not least, is the Taranis X9D Plus SE. It has most of the same upgrades as the QX7. It has the Hall effect gimbals. These are the M9 gimbals. But then it also has the larger screen. It has the nicer switches over the traditional X9D. The trick to this one is it's only about $20 more than this one. One more thing about these two is if you plan on running a TBS Crossfire, they work natively. Everything is ready to go. You do have to do a mod for these to make it work with those. You can just plug it in for these. So if you do a Crossfire, especially if you're doing long range, you might want to take advantage of some of these additional switches. I think these are nicer. So those are the highlights of the comparison. So which ones would I choose? Well, it's pretty easy. If you're in that $100 price range, as I mentioned, this is the radio to go with. The problem is, I think you're probably going to want to upgrade at some point. You're going to want to add Hall effect gimbals. After using Hall effect gimbals for a little while, oh my gosh, it feels painful by comparison. I never thought I'd say that. I didn't think it would make a difference. But these gimbals feel so bad after using Hall effect gimbals for a while. I'm honestly shocked. I'm stuttering because it's just, I didn't expect that, and it's such a huge difference. Man, that's crazy. So you will want to upgrade at some point. So when you do, which one are you going to go to? Would you just upgrade here, which is fine? Would you go to the X9D? Would you go to the QX7S? But no, it's none of those. It's this one. I believe these are the two radios to have. I believe this one is well worth the extra money if you have it available. And it's just a little bit more than the QX7S, and it's way better, if nothing else, because of the charging port. I've had this. How long have I had this? I've had this since the fall, and I've charged it twice. And I use this thing a lot. I rarely ever have to charge it. It's about due for a charging now, but really once in a blue moon, I have to charge it. And I hate having to screw up my plans because I have a dead battery. So I love the fact that this has a good battery built in. It has a charging port built in, so when I do need to charge it, I don't have to go looking for anything weird. I just plug it in and go. I love the gimbals. I love the switches. I love everything about it. I actually just upgraded it to have full Lewis scripts, which is better on this because of the better screen. The only thing I like about this better is the knob. I mean, this thing should have a knob. That's one thing they did nice on the Horus. They went with the knob for the future things. But everything else, it's a great radio, great for the price. It's absolutely what I would have had. For the long run though, I think this is the radio to have. It's well worth the additional upgrade costs that it comes with. And it's well worth $20 more than the QX7S or the X9D Plus. So I mentioned an honorable mention. Well, my honorable mention actually is this. This is not a FrSky radio. This is an LDARC, formerly known as King Kong, Tiny X8. And this is a radio that I reviewed separately. It's an 8-channel, even though you can only really get to 6 channels easily, radio that can be loaded with the Futaba D8 or D16 protocols, and it has a really nice feel. These gimbals are really smooth, almost too smooth. And it's $35 or comes in the RTF kit of the Tiny 6X, 7X, or 8X. So it's a great deal for the price. It's a third of the price of this one. If you can save up and just get this one to start with, great. If you want to start with one of those models and you get this, it actually ships with a Futaba protocol, but you can load it. I've got instructions on that video on how to load it with FrSky protocol, and it's a nice radio. I think as people spend more time with it, they'll figure out the exact settings that you need in Betaflight to make it feel even better. I just had it the first day out, and it felt a little twitchy, but I'm sure with some rate settings, you're going to get rid of the last little bit of that. And the more I flew it around, the better it felt. So that's my $35 honorable mention. So if you found this useful, leave a like and a comment down below and let me know if you agree. How wrong am I? Is the new FrSky Radio going to blow these out of the water? The answer is no. It's going to be cool, but no, it's not. They're going to sell a ton of them though, and you can bet I'm going to be first in line to review that if I can. But I'm a traditionalist, so I'm going to stick with these radios. Although I bet my son picks that over this one, this is actually his radio. So until next time, remember.
Welcome to OpenTX. Throttle warning.
Oh, I'm sorry, Amber.